How's she gonna juggle work?
You try to juggle both of them, sooner or later you gonna drop one. That's common sense.
We're talking about trying to juggle blood and fire.
You know that feeling when you're trying to do like a million things at once? Answering emails, figuring out dinner, and trying to finish a huge project all at the same time? Well, there's a perfect English word for that, and today we're gonna master it. The word is juggle.
So let's start with the classic image, right? Just picture a performer tossing, say, 5 colorful balls up in the air, catching them, throwing them again in this perfect continuous loop. What's the one word you would use to describe what they're doing?
Exactly. It's juggling. But here's the thing. That physical act of throwing stuff around is really only half the story. The real magic of this word comes from its second meaning, one that, trust me, we use every single day.
Okay, so first things first, let's lock in that literal meaning, the one you can actually see with your own 2 eyes. So here's the official definition. The 2 key ideas here are continuously and a number of objects. See, this isn't just one simple action. It's this complex balancing act that needs your constant attention. If you stop paying attention for even a second, everything comes crashing down. Remember that idea. Just think about that rhythm. Toss, toss, catch, repeat. It's a constant flow where every single action has to be perfectly timed. The real skill is just stopping the whole thing from falling apart, right? That core idea, managing a complex system to keep it from collapsing, that's the key to everything. Okay, so if juggling is about throwing balls around, why do we hear people say it all the time at the office or when they're talking about their family? I mean, it's pretty unlikely your boss is throwing laptops in the air. This is where the word gets really interesting and really powerful.
And that brings us to the metaphorical meaning. We're basically taking that physical skill of a juggler and we're applying it to the invisible challenges of our lives. You know, our tasks, our duties, our responsibilities. Let's just put it side by side. A circus performer juggles physical things, balls, rings, clubs. But in our everyday lives, we juggle abstract things, our work, our family, our school. The objects are different, but the feeling is exactly the same, trying to manage all these important things at once and desperately trying not to drop any of them. And here's the formal definition for that second meaning. Now pay close attention to that last part, especially when this is difficult. You see, we don't usually say we're juggling 2 really easy things. The word itself implies that there's a real challenge, a feeling of being busy and having to balance all these competing demands.
All right, so theory is one thing, but seeing how this word actually works is the best way to make it stick. Let's look at a few examples of how you'd hear juggle in a normal conversation.
This is such a classic example. A full-time job needs your focus from 9 to 5, but then your studies need your focus in the evenings and weekends. The word juggle here just perfectly captures that mental strain of trying to give both things the attention they really deserve.
You are going to hear this constantly in any workplace. Just imagine an executive looking at her screen. One project has a deadline tomorrow, another one needs a client call in an hour, and a third one is just getting started. She's not just working on them one by one, she's actively managing all of them at the same time. She's juggling her priorities.
Now, this one might be the most powerful example of all. A parent is pretty much in a constant state of juggling. A kid needs help with homework, but dinner has to be made. A child needs comfort after a tough day, but the parent also needs just a single moment of rest. This continuous act of balancing everyone's priorities, that is the absolute essence of juggling.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. Let's boil it all down to the most important takeaway, shall we? So when it all comes down to it, just remember this. Juggle is a word with 2 connected halves. You've got the literal physical act of keeping objects in the air, and that gives us this perfect metaphor for the mental act of keeping our busy lives in order.
So I'll leave you with a question. Think about your own life for a second. Your work, your school, your family, your hobbies. What are you juggling right now?